Hey, good morning. We are getting a very early start to our morning because today's plan here in St. Augustine is to jump on the Old Town Trolley tours. The tours run throughout 22 different points in the city. But the part that I like the best is that you can hop on and off all day long at any of the points you want and just wait for the next trolley to come around. Anyway, as soon as I can get Crystal out of the shower, we're gonna go downstairs, get some breakfast, and start this day. Let's go.
We are Crystal and Terry, and we've always loved to travel. However, the high demands of our full-time jobs make it increasingly difficult to take any time off. So, we're giving it all up. For the next year of our life, we'll be dedicating ourselves to full-time travel. We're so excited about this next chapter, and we really hope you'll join us in this amazing adventure as we leave the life we've always known to live the life of our dreams.
We're on the trolley, and they gave us these little trolley stickers, so we're going to do a total touristy thing, and where are our stickers today? Yeah, right there. Hey guys, we just got off at the stop that's at the Ripley's, believe it or not, and we are not going to go in the actual Ripley's, but they've got this really cool thing in the parking lot.
This apparently is from a tree it's 1900 years old, a massive tree, and this is the fourth log cut out of it. The log is 33 feet long and 8 feet wide, and it's saying that this fellow named Lynn Moore originally got the idea to build his dream house from this log after he had to take refuge in a burned out redwood trunk during a storm. It took 4 months to chisel out the interior and over a year to build this true tree house. This city is so great. It is filled with so much history. A lot of people in the world may be identified as geeks, which is not always a good thing. I have a specialization, whereas I'm called a history geek, so that's a little bit higher up. And let me show you what that means. That means I don't even need the tour guide. These palm wood barriers, these are presidios. Basically, presidio means walled city or sort of a gated city. So this was a form of defense. So the water's right out there. That's the Fort de San Marcos. And if you see here, if she'll show you this sort of mound, which is now, of course, it has grass grown over it, and this looks like very much of a nice park area. But what this would have been done is soldiers would have mounted up here. You probably would have had cannons. Facing out this way. So if invaders had gotten past the fort, they would have come down this way. You would have had people up here with cannons and cannonballs that could have fired directly across to get them. And these walls, they go straight down this street as well on both sides, going down toward the city to protect the city. They could have even done a crossfire as like sort of a big push of defense to keep people from getting into the city. But this is fantastic. Look at this. I am touching history. It's history. Who knows like how old somebody came up and touched this or built this. Like the guy that mounted this could have been 200 some odd years old, and I'm touching it. I'm connecting to history. It's like if I were shaking George Washington's hand or something almost right there. This is fantastic. Okay, so, all right, this is the Fort de San Marcos. Marcos. This is the oldest masonry fort in the country, okay? Well, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. If you think I'm wrong, you can tell me in the comments below. But I believe Fort de San Marcos is the oldest masonry fort in the United States. But this stuff they build it with is really weird. They call this coquina, and it's a weird limestone, seashell, fossilized kind of stuff that they get out of the ocean. I think it takes a couple years before it's even set hard enough to use in building, and they used it on some of the other stuff in St. Augustine. And the reason they use this, and I don't know if you can get a good shot of these these bullet hole type musket holes, but it absorbs things, and cannonballs, when they would be fired, it's like bursting it like old stiff concrete. This coquina would absorb it, and so it didn't break the structure, it didn't splinter the structure. And so a lot of the structures in St. Augustine, and especially the fort, use this kind of stuff. This, I think they started building this in the 1670s. The Queen of Spain commissioned it because all the wood forts were so easily destroyed all the time. They got her to invest in this thing right here. I don't know who the Queen of Spain was, 1672. I can't remember that. It took about 20 years. So it was around the 1690s this thing was completed. And this is just massive of it, but you really should come to St. Augustine and check it out yourself.
I know Terry has been filling you guys up with information, but I actually do know one thing about the fort, and that is the paint scheme. Of course, decoration is key. But they said that the external walls were actually painted white, and you can see the remnants of the white paint here. And there's like kind of a line that distinguishes the very top and the bottom structures of the fort, and that was painted red, as well as these I'm not sure what you call those. Centuries. So the centuries were also painted red, and what that said to anybody sailing in from the ocean was when they saw red and white together, that meant this was Spanish territory. So we're under this drawbridge, and I guess we don't really know, but this could have been a moat. And so then when they draw this up, then it closes off the walls to the fort and the enemy can't get in. Wahaha. Apparently it was a moat, because now it says keep off the moat stairs. But look how cool these stairs are, guys. They're just like totally eroded, and you can see all of the dips in them from how people used to walk and step on them. It's really cool. As beautiful as the fort was, I know that Terry could spend all day there reading all about the history and touching all the walls, but there's so much more to St. Augustine, and I'm ready to go check out the Old Town, so let's go.
So the streets down here in Old Town, they're very narrow, okay? And one of the reasons, well, the only reason really, is because it captures like an airway or an air tunnel, breezeway from the ocean, and helps cool down the city. You know, they didn't have a lot of great ventilation and air conditioning back in that day. But a lot of these streets are very narrow. That's why mostly you're going to get tours and just one car at a time. But that's why. It captures the ocean breeze, which is behind us, whips it through the city. Nice, cool breeze. Breezeway.
So now we're down on St. George's Street, and this is kind of the hub of the touristy area, but I really like it because they've kept the architecture very historic. So the town looks like it might have looked back in the 17 or 1800s. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun wandering around. Gonna stop for some gelato because it is way hot out here, and it's already about noon, so I think we deserve a treat. I always get raspberry gelato, it's my favorite.
I want you to meet my friend Don Pedro. a statue erected from the city of Spain given to the city of St. Augustine, as Don Pedro Mendez de Avila is considered the founder of St. Augustine. Thus, the statue is erected here in front of the Littner Museum, which is also a great museum to come check out. I love his outfit though.
So in this Florida sun, this has become a frequent stop for us. This is probably like the third or fourth time that we've stopped to put sunblock on, but partly because we got fried in Myrtle Beach. So we're trying to avoid doing the same thing again here. Live and learn. We're gonna go ahead and hop back onto the trolley and go head over to the winery and just take a break, get off our feet, and have a drink. Well guys, we got to taste 7 wines here at the San Sebastian Winery, and we had planned to go up to their rooftop and take you guys with us to get some great views of the city, but they're closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we've actually found that to be the case with several places here in St. Augustine. If you are planning to see everything, be sure to be here Thursday through Sunday, Monday-ish. Otherwise, things can be closed. So, boo-hoo.
So if you watch this video, you notice we have a little intro that we always do, and we poke a little fun at our full-time jobs. And I know other people have very demanding jobs, but the jobs were taking us away from living our dream life. But one of the things I would do at the end of the day to escape is I would go on YouTube and I'd watch all these live camming, streaming photos from around the world. Well, one place that would always come up is St. Augustine and this Martini Bar. Now, just by chance, we had picked St. Augustine to come visit. Then I remembered this place, so I looked it up, and when I told Crystal that the name of the bar was actually the Teeny Martini Bar, it had even more significance. So we knew we had to come here. But for the reason of the name being so special, I'll have to let Crystal tell you about that.
So this bar is really special because Martini was actually the name of my dog, who I had for 14 and a half years. And we used to call him Teeny for short, and the name of this bar not only is the Martini Bar, but it's the Teeny Martini Bar. So it just really kind of hit our heartstrings a little bit when we saw it. And unfortunately, he passed away April of last year, so it's been just a little bit over a year. But that's kind of what launched us into doing this full-time travel. And we just knew that when he was ready for us to go, he would go. And he did. Cut. So we did have him cremated, and
So another reason that it's so special to be here today is I got these bracelets after our little guy left us. We had him cremated, and it got me too. But anyway, we put some of his ashes in here so we could keep him with us the whole time.
Yep.
So
he's always with us on the road or in our hearts. It doesn't matter. He's here.
He's here. So how serendipitous that we are at the Teeny Martini Bar with our little guy Martini, enjoying this really beautiful place. So here's to the little guy, Mr. Martini.
Cheers.
All right, so you see this right here? You see this crack that's starting to develop all the way through, all the way to the top? I lived in Texas for 10 years. This is what we call foundation issues. All right, I don't know if the government would still pay for this, but considering the size, this might cost at least 20 or 30,000. They'll have to dig a hole and put a beam under here and jack it up to get the foundation. I know because I had a couple of houses with that issue in Texas. I don't know, they might leave it as is. You know, you can leave it as is on a fort and it's called character, but if you do that in a house, it's at least $10,000 worth of repair work, at least in Texas.
We're under the Troll Bridge now. Is that how you say it?
No.
Troll Bridge?
No.
How do you say it?
Bridge.
This goes up, Terry.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we're under this Troll Bridge and drawbridge. So we're under this drawbridge and
You know what those things are?
Barbed wire.
Huh?
I don't know.
They're called channel guards.
Channel guard.
Yeah, channel guards. You know where the fort is at? Just a little bit of information for you. Thanks for waiting on this red light. The channel guards was used by the military. And out there at the bay, what happened was that if the cannons could not sink the ships that were coming into St. Augustine, the military that was out there, because that inlet was considerably smaller at that time, these channel guards would be below the surface of the water. The military would pull them up and scrape the bottom of the boats and therefore sink the boat anyways. A little bit of history about that military. Anyways, here we go. Over here on the right hand side.